Hello and welcome once again to our home here in Charleston, actually Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Please come on in. My name is Mark.
And I'm Karen.
And we are welcoming you to this fifth program in our series of virtual cocktails and music. The standard caveat applies. These were done with no professional equipment, just an iPad for recording, and then the iMovie app on my MacBook Air to add, to string everything together and add some visual effects. However, I did discover a way to make much better sound quality on the musical portion of our program. So that was bothering me for a long time, and I think you'll find the sound quality of the music to be much improved this time around. Our feature tonight musically is going to be Carolina beach music. We're going to have some fun tonight. And we have joining us once again from the original seat of government in the United States, Williamsburg, Virginia, our friends, Peg and Larry.
Hi guys.
Hi everybody.
Hello everybody.
They're on the big screen. We couldn't, I was struggling to figure out what to do for a cocktail for this, and then we were doing a Zoom birthday party for our granddaughter, and our in-laws, Peggy Singleman, suggested what better than Sex on the Beach for Carolina beach music. And I said, I'm all for that, but have you got any ideas for the cocktail? So, and that's kind of my point exactly.
The problem is the beaches are closed.
Has there ever been a cocktail with a name that has elicited so many jokes and innuendos? I have to say, there are in this book cocktails with far more erotic names, but they are generally not well known by the public. So I think Sex on the Beach is probably one that is most well known by the public. As with just about any cocktail, as we saw with the Cosmopolitan that Peg did on our last episode, the history and origin are widely disputed. And there's also, interestingly, no consensus regarding the main ingredient of the recipe. So according to bartender lore, and there was apparently at one point a website called sexonthebeach.com, and I tried to go to that website, but it doesn't exist anymore. So who knows what happened to it. But anyway, according to bartender lore, the cocktail was invented by a bartender named Ted, who was working at Confetti's Bar in Florida. I tried to look up Confetti's Bar in Florida. There's one in Panama City, and there's one in Tampa. So there may even be more, I'm not sure which. But I think it was one that the spring breakers would have frequented a lot. So it was probably Panama City, I would think. Don't you think that'd be more than Panama?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, in any event, Ted was inspired by a promotion from a peach schnapps company to sell the most peach schnapps as he could. So he, according to legend, invented a cocktail that featured peach schnapps. Interestingly, Ted's recipe uses orange juice as the main ingredient. Other recipes use pineapple juice as the main ingredient. My cocktail Bible recommends grapefruit juice as the main ingredient. So I guess you can tailor your Sex on the Beach to fit your own personal preferences. Right? There's always all these innuendos. So whichever ingredient you favor for the main ingredient, the rest of the recipe is pretty similar. It has peach schnapps, it has cranberry juice, and of course, it has vodka. So now, let's make Sex on the Beach. Okay, we like to use, for the main ingredient of our cocktail, grapefruit juice. You shake it up. Now, grapefruit juice, we have sometimes used orange juice because we're more likely to have orange juice in the house if we're going to have to do spontaneous sex on the beach. But if we know in advance that we're going to be making sex on the beach, then we will go out and I can't even do this with a straight face. You cannot talk about this cocktail without saying something that has a strong innuendo. Anyway, so if we know we're going to be having it, we will just go out and get some grapefruit juice. And you don't need a cocktail shaker for this drink. Actually, it is mixed up in the glass that you are going to drink it from. So it's 3 shots Anyway, 3 ounces of grapefruit juice. And then 2 ounces of cranberry juice. 3 ounces grapefruit juice, 2 ounces cranberry juice, 1 ounce of vodka. And we like Tito's. Now, oftentimes, as Peg did with her Cosmopolitan, we will substitute citrus infused or absolute citron vodka for regular vodka. But given how much grapefruit juice this thing has in it, any citrus infusion in the vodka is going to be overpowered. So it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense here, where it certainly does in the. And that's it.
Oh, what about
3, 2, 1.
peach schnapps?
Oh, I forgot the peach schnapps. Thank you. Peach schnapps. 1 ounce of peach schnapps.
This is not our food in class. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Whoa.
Oh, I made sure in advance that it would fit perfectly. And then you can stir it up a little bit. And then, of course, what do you think you would use as a garnish on Sex on the Beach? A cherry.
Cherry.
Okay, so this is, you know, this is a crazy cocktail, but anyway. Okay, and that is our Sex on the Beach drink. It's a pretty drink, it's a very fruity drink, and anyway, here's the Sex on the Beach.
There you go.
As I said earlier, our featured music today is Carolina beach music. And I pre-recorded a little background and history of Carolina beach music. The Carolina beach music scene is not to be confused with anything that's happening in the surf music of California or Malibu or things of that nature. So anyway, you might find this interesting. Carolina beach music, also known as just beach music here in the Low Country, is a regional genre which developed from various rock, rhythm and blues, and pop music of the 50s and 60s. It is most closely associated with a style of swing dance known as the shag or the Carolina shag, which, by the way, is the official state dance of both North and South Carolina. Recordings with a 4-beat blues shuffle rhythmic structure and moderate to fast tempo are the most popular music for the shag, and the vast majority of the music in this genre fits that description. The shag is an interesting phenomenon. We understand the basic swing dance style, and when we moved to Charleston, we were interested in understanding what makes the Carolina shag unique. We went to some dance gatherings here in Charleston with friends who had some familiarity with the shag. I would ask them to point out someone on the floor who was doing the Carolina shag, and they would point out 2 different couples who were, from what I could see, not doing anything that resembled what the other was doing. For example, this style I think closely resembles the Lindy, a dance that's been around since before World War II and is called collegiate shag today. I think it's called collegiate because you need 20-year-old ankles to do it. You will see this if you go to the Prohibition Club in downtown Charleston, where this more closely resembles what we've seen at other shag dances here in Charleston that cater to a more mature audience, shall we say. So my conclusion is that while there is significant room for individual expression with the shag, there are some elements that uniquely identify and qualify it as the shag or the Carolina shag. Just haven't quite figured out what those are yet. Though primarily confined to a small regional fan base, specifically to Grand Strand communities such as Myrtle Beach, Carolina Beach, and the Golden Isles of Georgia. In its early days, what is now known as Carolina beach music was instrumental in bringing about wider appreciation of rhythm and blues or R&B music. While older styles of R&B have faded from popularity, the shag has gained wide popularity in swing dance circles around the U.S. Within the fan base of shag dancers, there are those that prefer the R&B oldies as opposed to currently popular tunes that happen to have the required beat. But most agree that the Ocean Drive section of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is where the beach shag phenomenon really took hold. It had its greatest impact among vacationing teenagers and college students in the early 50s. Among the most popular and influential R&B artists who produced beach records in the 50s and 60s were the Drifters, Under the Boardwalk, the Platters, With This Ring I Promise I'll Always Love You, Jackie Wilson, Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher, the OJs, She Used to Be My Girl, the Tams, Be Young, Be Foolish, But Be Happy, the Times, Ooh, Miss Grace, the Temptation,
Talking about my girl, or the Four Tops, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch. How about the chairman of the board? Give me just a little more time. Then another wave of artists known today as beach bands came into prominence in the mid-60s and early 70s, heavily influenced by the sound of Motown and other prominent R&B labels of the day. These included groups like the Swingin' Medallions, the Occasions, I'm a Girl Watcher, the Tassels, Bill Deal and the Rondells. These primarily white R&B artists were part of a strong but very short-lived musical trend called blue-eyed soul. Interestingly, Jimmy Buffett credits beach music as a major influence of his. His CD, Beach House on the Moon, was intended as an homage to the Carolina beach music genre. That CD featured the Tams, and for a while they toured with him as vocalists. But the CD never yielded any tunes that became hits among beach music fans. The best of beach music from the early decades is known today as classic beach. However, there is more to beach music than just the oldies, and new recordings in this style are being produced regularly as part of the regional music industry in the southeastern United States. While the terms beach music and Carolina beach music are still used, increasingly it's being called shag music, and this is because of the popularity of the shag, and also to distance the genre from the California-based music often associated with beaches, such as yacht rock and surf music. There's a novel titled Beach Music, written by South Carolina author Pat Conroy. The novel's protagonist seeks to get his daughter more in touch with her southern roots, and he does this by introducing her to the shag and to classic beach music, which her Uncle Dupre tells her is the holiest sound on earth.
Okay, so that's a little bit of the history of Carolina beach music and, of course, the shag, which we have yet to sort of figure out how to do, but we're going to figure it out sometime while we're here. Even the most casual observer will probably note that I'm way out of my element here. I mean, if you look at the pictures of those groups that have recorded popular Carolina beach music, you will notice one extreme difference between them and me. They all have dark hair and I have gray hair. That's the big difference. So I will endeavor to do my best. I found a few that I think will be fun, and I actually have quite a I get requests for this stuff. When I first started playing at the assisted living and retirement homes, I was just going to feature music that was pre-1960, the Great American Songbook. It's amazing how many people requested and wanted this type of musical genre. It's stuff they grew up with here, especially in the Charleston area. So anyway, this will be my tribute to Carolina beach music. I hope you have fun with it. I hope you just get up and dance to it if you know, because you're not going to get too drunk on one of these. There's not that much alcohol in them. So enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side. This song, released in 1980 by General Johnson and the chairman of the board, has become iconic in the Carolina shag and beach music culture. It was actually written in 1973 by a gentleman named J.D. Shropshire Jr. while he was attending Barber College in Raleigh, North Carolina. Neither he nor any of his family ever got a dime for it. Carolina girl, best in the world. You're so fine, girl, you're one of a kind. Sweet Carolina girls, Carolina girls, sweet southern pearls. You're sure enough tough, girl, I can't get enough of you. Sweet Carolina girls, I love the way you walk. Ooh, I love the way you talk. You're so fine, girl, you're one of a kind. Sweet Carolina girls. Oh, California girls are sexy, and New York girls are too. But Carolina girls got good looks, a sweet personality too.
Carolina girls, sweet southern pearls. You're so fine, girl, you're one of a kind. Sweet Carolina girls, you make me say, ooh, with the things you do. You're sweeter than candy, hotter than heat, more precious than diamond, girl, you can't be beat, no. Oh, California girls are sexy, and New York girls are too. But Carolina girls got good looks, a sweet personality too. Carolina girls, best in the world. You're so fine, girl, you're one of a kind. Sweet Carolina girls, Carolina girls, sweet southern pearls. You're sure enough tough, girl, I can't get enough of you. Sweet Carolina girls, Carolina girls, best in the world. You're so fine, girl, you're one of a kind. Sweet Carolina, sweet Carolina girls. This 1964 song from the Drifters ranks among the top 500 songs ever recorded. Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, we'll be having some fun. People walking above, we'll be falling in love. Boardwalk, boardwalk, from the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, we'll be having some fun. People walking above, we'll be falling in love. Boardwalk, boardwalk. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, we'll be having some fun. People walking above, we'll be falling in love. Boardwalk, boardwalk. This 1975 song from The Times never did better than number 91 in the US, but it was always a local hit number, Carolina beach music lovers.
satin and perfume and lace. The minute I saw your face, I knew that I loved you. And hey you, listen to me. I got a lot of truth I want to tell you. I just met a woman who turned me upside down. The rivers turn in their beds, flowers bloom where she treads. She turns an awful lot of heads when she comes to town. Miss Grace, when you walk by, you're the twinkle in my eye. There's no need to wonder why I've fallen for you. Ooh, Miss Grace, satin and perfume and lace. The minute I saw your face, I knew that I loved you. Strangest thing of all it say is that this should happen to me. Lady Grace, she said she'd be so fine. Someday I'll make her mine, oh mine. Ooh, Miss Grace, satin and perfume and lace. The minute I saw your face, I knew that I loved you. Ooh, Miss Grace, satin and perfume and lace. The minute I saw your face, I knew that I loved you. Ooh, Miss Grace, satin and perfume and lace. The minute I saw your face, I knew that I loved you. Although this 1967 song by the Platters never was a #1 hit for them, it is ranked as one of the top 25 songs for shag dancing today. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. They used to call me the wanderer, never wanted to settle down. But I'll tell you, baby, that I wanna know more. Got to stay around, 'cause with this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. Got nothing but this old heart of mine, baby, please believe in me. Girl, you know, sweetheart, I'll always try to keep you satisfied, 'cause with this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. Baby, I never thought so much love could fit in a little bed of gold. But I'm telling you, darling, that I'm feeling
promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. With this ring, I promise I'll always love you, always love you. So that's my tribute to Carolina Beach music. And I'll say up front, I don't pretend to be an expert on this at all. And all of you folks who grew up with it here, since you were children, I defer to your expertise all along. It's just, you know, what little I've been able to pick up in some of the research I've been doing. Thank you all for joining us for this program number 5. I haven't figured out yet exactly what program number 6 is going to be, but we're going to start working on it. We're going to try and put out maybe 2 of these a week, at least while we're all in lockdown like this. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for playing your part to maintain social distance, to stay at home, make essential trips only. I hope that you all had a happy Easter. This is our first program since Easter. Thank you to our doctors and nurses and first responders who are out there on the front lines of this, literally risking their lives. Always a thank you to our men and women serving in uniform who are out there every day also putting their life on the line, ready to step up and stand up should the need be. We owe all of them a debt of gratitude. And our police officers and our firemen, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that deserve our thanks and our praise. Until the next time, good evening to you. God bless you, and God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with your light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God